What would you do if your brother got kidnapped in a game you thought was fake and the clock was ticking to save him? The movie starts with Max, who loves games more than anyone could imagine. One day, Max is out with his friends at a nightclub, and they're spending the night playing as usual until he sees a beautiful girl at the club. Her name is Annie, and she loves games just as much as him, maybe even more. He is immediately attracted to her, and when she sees that he is as passionate about games as she is, and that they have a lot in common, she likes him too. It does not take long for them to get to know each other, and their relationship develops really fast. In a short time, they get married and live a happy life, and they still hang out with their friends even after getting married. Their life seems perfect and beautiful, but after a while, they both notice that they have problems with having kids, so they decide to get checked. When they go to the doctor, she says that the fertility issue is with Max, not Annie, but it is a minor problem that can be fixed easily. The issue is just stress, and if Max reduces his stress and gets rid of the things that cause him pressure, he will be able to have kids normally. Then the doctor asks what things might be causing him stress. He says he is fine mentally and not stressed. But Annie interrupts and tells the doctor that Max is competitive and hates losing any game. When he loses, he becomes a completely different person, especially when he used to lose to his brother Brooks. He has a complex about his brother and thinks he is better than him at everything. She believes the thing causing him stress recently is his brother Brooks because he just got back from a long trip, but Max denies all of that and insists that he is fine mentally and has no problems with his brother later. Max and Annie return home carrying a lot of stuff because they plan to stay up all night playing with their friends. When they enter the apartment, they meet their neighbor Gary, who is very strange, and his behavior is even stranger. Max and Annie are uncomfortable with him. Gary is a police officer living alone, and he tries to get close to Max and Annie to join their game nights. He notices that they bought a lot of stuff, so he assumes they will be staying up and playing tonight, and asks them to join the party, but they try to avoid him and tell him that they stopped having game nights a long time ago, and the stuff they bought is just for themselves. They say goodbye and leave, but Gary suspects they are lying and still having game nights, so he decides to watch them. At night, Annie and Max start preparing their apartment as their friends are arriving. They agree that their friends would park far away and enter quietly so their neighbor Gary could not see them. Their friends do exactly that and enter through the window. These friends are a married couple who love games like them. Kevin and his wife Michelle, and a single friend named Ryan, always joins his married friends at game nights with a different girl every time he dates each girl for the night, and after the night ends, he moves on to another girl. They all sit down and play together, having fun and spending a good time, until they hear a car making noise outside. Max goes to see what it is and finds his brother Brooks back from his trip. Max is shocked to see him because Brooks is driving the car Max had always dreamed of as a kid but could never buy. But Brooks could afford it and comes to Max's house to annoy him. Brooks goes to greet Max and says he heard they are staying up and playing tonight. Gary is standing there watching and overhearing everything. Max tries to smooth things over with Gary after Brooks ruins everything, and everyone knows what is going on. He tells Gary that his brother is here to join a family game night, but Gary now knows they were lying and leaves. Brooks joins Max and Annie's friends, who are also friends of his, and starts talking about himself and his trip, showing off his arrogance. After the talk, they all start playing together, and through all the games, Brooks waits for Max to make any mistake or say anything wrong to mock him in front of everyone. After they finish playing and start leaving, Brooks invites them to his house for next week's game night, and everyone agrees. They all go back to their homes, and Annie comforts Max, easing his frustration from what Brooks did. She tells him it is the first time she noticed how rude Brooks is and that they need to get back at him. They plan to embarrass and tease him at the next game night, and Max is excited about it. A week passes, and Max and Annie get ready to go to Brooks's house. They enter and sit together with everyone and meet the girl Ryan is dating for that night, and her name is Sarah. Brooks tells them that this game night will be nothing like the others, and it will be completely different from any game they have played before. He says he contracted a special company that does mystery and thrill games for this night. The game they are going to play is that someone among them will be kidnapped within an hour, and everyone has to find and save the person before they get killed. The first person to find the kidnapped one wins, and the prize is the new car Brooks just bought. Max gets really excited about this game because that car has been his dream since he was a kid. Brooks tells them all they have to do is wait until the company starts the game, so they all sit and chat until someone from the company Brooks hired comes in. He pretends to be a federal agent warning them about a dangerous gang in the area that kidnaps people. Suddenly, two masked people break the door and storm in. They hit the man and knock him out. Then they turn on Brooks and hit him hard. This is no act. They are actually kidnapping Brooks and walking away. Max, Annie, and their friends watch everything happen knowing it is part of the game. They are enjoying it, believing the game has started and that Brooks is the one who got kidnapped and they're supposed to find him. Then each couple splits up, trying to find any clue to lead them to Brooks. Max and Annie come up with a smart idea to just track Brooks' phone and follow the gang. They jump in their car and follow the phone, excited to solve the puzzle and win the car. Meanwhile, Sarah, who came with Ryan, also has a good idea. They decide to go to the company Brooks hired and bribe them to find out where the gang is hiding Brooks and solve the puzzle first. Before Sarah and Ryan head to the company, they trap Kevin and Michelle in a basement at the house to slow them down and be the first to solve the puzzle. Then they leave for the company. At the same time, Max and Annie reach the place where Brooks's phone is and decide to go in to rescue him and win the car. They enter, and as soon as they see the masked kidnappers, they expect them to try to stop them from winning easily. Annie pulls out a gun and says it fell from Brooks when the kidnappers took him. It is a toy gun just to scare the kidnappers and take Brooks. They go and scare the kidnappers with the toy gun and take their weapons, leaving them outside. They enter the room where Brooks is and are thrilled, teasing him because they found him so easily without any effort. As soon as they remove the tape from Brooks's mouth, he tells them that everything happening is real. He says this is not a game, and he is involved in illegal smuggling and got into big trouble. The person who kidnapped him is a dangerous criminal named Bulgari, and the men outside are Bulgari's men. They actually kidnapped him to take him to meet the gang leader. Max and Annie cannot believe him. Annie teases him using the toy gun and fires a shot to prove it is just pretend. But the shot hits Max's arm and he starts bleeding for real. Max is in real pain, and at that moment they realize Brooks was not lying and everything he said is true. Bulgari's men try to break the door and get in to finish them off, but Max and Annie rescue Brooks and escape at the last moment. The gang keeps chasing them in a car, and in the car, Brooks confesses to Max and Annie that he stole a family egg from Bulgari and gave it to someone else. Now Bulgari's men are chasing him and will not stop until they catch him. Brooks tells them it is all his fault and apologizes, then jumps from the car to make them escape. The gang stops and takes him with them, and Max escapes before they can harm him. They are shocked by everything happening and cannot believe it. Max keeps bleeding from the bullet in his arm, so he tells his wife she has to pull it out herself because he cannot go to the hospital. Annie goes to buy supplies from the pharmacy and tries to remove the bullet, but realizes it went in and out at the same time, so she decides to just stitch the wound. Meanwhile, Ryan and Sarah go to the company and discover that Brooks was actually kidnapped, and it is not an act after the company informs them that the game had not even started. At the same time, Kevin and Michelle realize the truth after the company agent who was knocked out explains that the people who broke in were not from the company. They conclude that everything is real and not pretend. They all gather to decide what to do about Brooks and how to save him. They decide to steal the family egg that Brooks stole and give it to Bulgari to solve the problem. First, they need to find out who Brooks sold the egg to. They decide to go to their neighbor's house and use his laptop to search the police database for the person. They all go to Gary's house, pretending to surprise him and hang out so he does not notice what they are really doing. They fool Gary, who hosts them, and they joke around so he does not suspect anything. Max manages to get into Gary's room and uses his laptop to find the identity of the person. He immediately takes his wife and friends and leaves to go to that person's house to steal the egg. On the way, Max gets a call from the gang holding his brother saying that Brooks is with them, and if he wants to see him, he has to come to a specific location. Max decides to go, but takes the egg with him first. They all go to the house and split up to search for the egg. Ryan finds the egg, and they all cooperate to escape with it. They discover the egg is not a family treasure, but contains the names of witnesses in a very important case, and understand that Bulgari wants the witnesses. They confront the gang holding Brooks, but the gang does not understand what they are talking about. They hold them at gunpoint and force them to the ground, then call their boss. Brooks feels like he's going to die and apologizes to Max, saying it is all his fault and he always underestimated him because he thought he was better. He tries to make up for it, but he had come back to make it right and wanted to give Max his dream car, even if he did not win the game. The gang interrupts to finish them off, but at the last moment, Gary appears and fights the gang, saving them. Gary takes a bullet and is close to dying, so Max and Annie run to help him. He asks them to promise that if he survives, he will join all their game nights. They promise, and Gary gets up unharmed, revealing that he was behind it all. He did everything to prove his skill in games and adventures, and to be allowed to join their game nights. They ask about the egg and witnesses, but Gary does not know what they are talking about. Then two people appear and kill Gary, this time for real, and they are Bulgari and his assistant. They came to take the egg, so Max tries to deal with them politely, giving them the egg to save their lives. Brooks knows Bulgari will not forgive him for his betrayal, and that if he takes the egg, he will kill them. So he swallows the list of names. Bulgari tells them a plane is waiting, and he will go with them by force to explain and get the value from his stomach. They take Brooks and leave, and Max and Annie follow. At the airport, Bulgari is about to fly with Brooks, but at the last moment, Max crashes the plane with a car, preventing it from taking off. Max climbs onto the plane and confronts Bulgari. Annie joins him, and together, they manage to knock Bulgari unconscious. They free Brooks and tie up Bulgari until the police arrive, and they all manage to rescue him. 3 months later, Max and Annie go to Brooks's house for their usual game night. All their friends are there because Brooks is under house arrest for his crimes and cannot leave under any circumstance. They all have to spend the game night at his house. During the games, Annie tells Max and everyone that she is pregnant. Max is overjoyed because from that moment his life will get better. Their long-awaited child is on the way, and the movie ends. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you never miss a new video, and I will see you next time. Take care.